welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Well, after 3 days of sluggish price action, the Nifty made an all-time high on yesterday's trade. We did see this was on the back of buying in blue chip stocks, firm global market trends as well as the foreign fund flows. Auto majors, Maruti Suzuki and Mahindra along with ICICI Bank and ITC led the index to newer peaks. It is ITC that gained for the fifth straight trading session and is attempting to retest the previous highs as well. But it was the stock of the day, Maruti Suzuki, that drove all the sentiment across the auto space as of yesterday. Within the banking space, the PSU banks outperform, but the Nifty Bank continues to be in a range-bound trade. The question now is, will the Nifty have enough triggers to take it above 25,000 mark right ahead of the earnings and the budget now? Warm welcome to all our viewers and good morning, Shail.
Good morning, Sakshi, and a very warm welcome to all the thousands of viewers who are watching us on Business Today Television. Right in the middle of the week on Wednesday, we stand at a record high as far as the Nifty is concerned, and of course, it's an amazing rally that's happening in cash markets on a regular basis. One or the other sector keeps on popping up and taking major indices higher. And yesterday was the turn of auto stocks, actually, at a time when dealerships are facing a crisis of inventory. Companies are cutting prices, and here are auto stocks making record highs and with such margins. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is how liquidity works, and this is how the pre-budget run-up is getting impacted and visible on the Lal Street. Let's start with our daily graph right there in front of you. You see the Nifty in front of you. And if you watch a little closely, you will see in the last 4 sessions, the Nifty has done pretty much nothing. It consolidates around 24,400, which is of course a record high, and then slips when it hits an intraday high. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is a major resistance. Bears आगे बढ़ने नहीं दे रहे 24,400 24,500 से, और बुल्स इसको गिरने नहीं दे रहे 24,200 के नीचे. So it's a very narrow range. The market is awaiting major developments in the budget before it moves higher or lower. And till that time, it's in a consolidating phase. Flat cues are coming in from GIFT Nifty, a flat opening there. Overseas cues are strong. Sakshi will talk about, especially the FII number over the last 5 days. It's extremely positive. We'll discuss that in a little detail. But coming to the market. You have the Nifty flat over the last 4 sessions. It's likely to continue that way. Periodically, it might hit a record high and then come back a little lower. So 24,500 is a very strong resistance where it will take a lot of effort for the bulls to take it out. But meanwhile, 24,200, 24,300, 24,350 are zones where you can buy an intraday dip and move higher. Let's look at what else is important in the market. It's the weekly expiry for the Bank Nifty today. We'll discuss it a bit in detail. Remember, it's the other banks. Everybody apart from HDFC Bank is moving up. In the last 7 trading sessions, Nifty Bank is absolutely flat, up 0.5%. But HDFC Bank, the highest weighted component in Bank Nifty, about 33% weightage, is down 5%. The top performer in the banking space has been, over the last 1 week, in the F&O space, Federal Bank, up 7% to a record high. What else is happening in the market? We are just 8 sessions away from the national budget on July 23. Remember, July 17, exactly the Wednesday after this one, is a holiday right in the middle of the week. So trading sessions are getting reduced. We are at the cusp of the second quarterly earnings. And tomorrow will be the day of TCS, India's largest software services provider, to kick off the second quarter. Let's see what it comes up. Therefore, a lot of attention is now paid to the run-up to the budget, in which case agricultural and fertilizer stocks are doing well. Rail has performed dramatically. Last week, it was the turn of defense counters. So on a daily basis, newer and better stocks are coming up to take the market higher. This is a pre-budget run-up. PSU banks are under the spotlight. Yesterday, Central Bank, Indian Overseas Bank, and of course, Bank of Maharashtra rallied strongly. So you need to keep an eye out on this one. As we say on Business Today, these are low ticket, high beta items, and they are likely to do well within the trader community. Therefore, buy the dip on the Nifty if you get it somewhere like 24,350, 24,300, 24,200, 250, and then for an intraday bounce, it's good. Heavy resistances on the Bank Nifty. Let's look at the chart again. 52,500 to 53,000 is a space where huge amount of call writing has happened, and it's very difficult to dislodge them. Let's see what happens. The bank closed 143 higher at 52,568. Two stocks you need to keep in mind. Mankind Pharma, huge block deal happening today. The all-time high for this counter is 2493. About 0.9% equity, which is 37 lakh shares, will be exchanging hands for a value of about 760 crores. Remember, the counter is at its 200-day DMA, and the IPO price was 1080. We are somewhere like 84,000 crores on the market capitalization of Mankind Pharma and at 200 DMA. This is a stock that I'll watch out keenly. On the other side of the equation is delivery. An 805 crore block deal is expected today. The counter got listed in May 2002 at 487 rupees was the IPO price, so it's not done anything out of the ordinary. So keep these two stocks in mind as far as block deals are concerned. Sakshi, what's happening on the foreign fund space, and what has the US Federal Reserve told the Senate? I believe you had a record high on Wall Street yesterday.
Yes, Shail, the U.S. market ended on a mixed note on Tuesday amid U.S. Federal Reserve Chairperson Jerome Powell's testimony. Powell said that the labor market looked strong and was back to pre-COVID levels, but the economy was not overheated. On interest rate cuts, Powell made it clear that the Fed will stick with data-based decision-making. We did see the S&P 500 again close at record levels, Nasdaq up by 0.1% as well. The S&P 500 has been rising for the sixth straight session, and this is also on the back of strong moves that we are seeing on shares like Nvidia as well. The Dow Jones, however, ended just about 0.1% lower in trade. As far as the US 10-year bond yield is concerned, it rose a wee bit to about 4.3%. Among commodities, gold futures hovered around $23.70 an ounce, while the Brent crude oil levels also dipped a bit to $85 a level as well. As far as the equity markets in the Asia Pacific region are concerned, they traded on a tepid mode this morning. If you look at the Australian indices, they were down by about 0.5%. Japan's Nikkei, Kospi and Taiwan were actually flat in trade. It's the Hang Seng that's been buzzing in the early morning trading action, 1.2% higher in trade, although the Shanghai is down by 0.1%. Trends on the Gift Nifty are indicating a flat opening for the broader index in India. But when it comes to the flows, the overseas investors have stayed net buyers of the Indian equities for the fifth straight session as on Tuesday. The FPI's mopped up stocks worth about 314.5 crore rupees. And of course, they have been continuously buying. For this month so far, 7,250 odd crore rupees has come in from the foreign investors into the Indian markets. For this year so far, FIIs have been net buyers to the tune of 14,494 odd crore rupees. The domestic institutional investors also stayed buyers for the second straight session. They bought equities worth about 16 odd crore rupees in yesterday's trading action. So that's going to be key to watch out for as well. Let's talk about stocks now. M&M, the automaker, has reduced the prices of top-end variants XUV 700 SUV by almost 1 lakh rupees. The celebratory pricing is for 4 months only. And RVNL from the railways pack is back in focus. The company has emerged as the lowest bidder for about 203 crore railway contract from Southeastern Railways. Adani Power will be in focus. The company's unit Mahan Energen has entered into a 20-year power purchase agreement for 500 megawatts with Reliance Industries. Reliance Industries has also acquired 26% stake in one of Mahan Energen's 600 megawatts thermal power units for the agreement too. From the consumer durable space, Havells will be in focus. The company is now planning to expand the manufacturing capacity of the cables space at the Alwar plant. The company is also planning to make an investment of 375 odd crore rupees to add additional 41.2 lakh kilometers of annual capacity by March 2026 as well. Now, as far as JSW Steel is concerned, here the update has come in that the consolidated crude steel production of the company has slipped 1% on a year-on-year basis and 6% sequentially in the first quarter. Lloyd Metals is going to be in focus. The company has raised 1,200 crores via QIP and allotted 1.75 crore shares at 696 rupees per share, indicating a 4.93% discount to the floor price. Delta Corp, we are going to be keeping a keen eye out on. Its reported weak set of earnings. Revenue is down 30.3%. Margins have come in at 16.9% versus 36.9% on a year ago period as well. So there could be some knee-jerk reaction post the earnings on this one as well. Apart from this, we are also keeping a keen eye out on Alembic Pharma. The company has received US FDA final approval for Brofenac ophthalmic solution. Adani Ports is going to be in focus. The company has received a letter of intent for developing and operating berth number 13 at Deen Dayal Port in Gujarat with a concession period of 30 years. Infosys will be in focus. The company has announced a strategic 5-year collaboration with Sector Alarm to develop financial and business operating models. The development is to be brought in through cloud-based enterprise resource planning as well. So those are some of the stocks that I'm keeping a keen eye out on, Shail, today.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we are in the middle of this fantastic rally that is on the Lal Street. And Sakshi, just yesterday, the mutual fund data came in 21,600 and 21,260 crores is the monthly SIP number. Needless to say, this is a record high. And of course, a lot of NFOs have also raised in money. All put together, 40,000 crore rupees came into the market in the month of June as far as mutual fund alone are concerned. This does not include EPFO money. This does not include Ultra HNI money. This does not include FI money. So you can, ladies and gentlemen, be very safe in assuming that at least 2,500 to 3,000 crore rupees is available on a daily basis to help offset a fall in any major index or stock price. One must never, never, never argue with liquidity in the market. In the short term, markets rise or fall because of rising or dipping liquidity. In the long term, they are slaves of earnings, and of course, they are also slaves of GDP. But in the short term, it is only liquidity and liquidity that matters. And therefore, one must be very, very careful if one is trying to go short on the market. If you do not agree with the rise in the market, it's always best to remain fence sitter rather than take your chance in shorting stocks. There might be data that is coming in on the economic side, on the quick indicator side, which might not agree with the rally in the market. But what you must not do is fight with liquidity. Now, what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be joined shortly by Mr. Gaurang Shah, Senior Vice President for Geojit Financial Services, and a little later by Mitesh Panchal of miteshpanchal.in, who will handle the technical part of the market. But fantastic rallies are being seen across the board. I think agriculture and fertilizers, which is sugar shares, paper shares, tea shares, coffee shares, will be in focus because the widespread reach of the monsoon is now across the country. And of course, a good amount of sowing is happening, which is better than last year as far as agricultural produce is concerned. And that is going to help fertilizer stocks. We've seen sharp rallies already coming in NFL, in RCF, in GSFC, and GNFC. So these are the broad thoughts that I have in mind. I believe Gaurang is with us. गुड मॉर्निंग टू यू गौरांग जी, शुभ प्रभात और नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका। हमेशा की तरह इस चर्चा को शुरू करेंगे कोचीन शिपयार्ड के शेयर के साथ। तब से जब पिछले हफ्ते से अब तक जब आप हमारे साथ जुड़े थे, उस दौरान 3,000 का भी लक्ष्य भेदन हो चुका है और आपका बहुत बहुत आभार, धन्यवाद इतनी बढ़िया कॉल देने का। अब बताइए दलाल स्ट्रीट पर क्या हो रहा है?
धन्यवाद शैल जी, आपको, साक्षी को और डीटी नाउ के सभी दर्शकों को सादर प्रणाम और शुभ प्रभात हमारे तरफ से। तेजी का ही माहौल है। 24,500 का वर्णन हमने सोमवार को किया था, जब हमने पूरे हफ्ते भर का बाजार का ब्यौरा जो हमारा YouTube चैनल है जियोजिट स्पॉटलाइट, उस पर हमने राय दी थी। और हमें ऐसा भी लग रहा है कि 24,500 को पार करने बाद एक नया जीवन का सर्वोच्च स्तर बनेगा। वी विल मेक अ न्यू लाइफ टाइम हाई एंड देन पॉसिबली विल कंसोलिडेट. This is a week where you will see a curtain raiser for first quarter earnings this new financial year FY25. And of course, then will be followed by budget, and there will be a lot of expectation as all the years. But I think wisdom will prevail upon the government, the Ministry of Finance, and the Finance Minister, and they will possibly deliver a budget which they have been delivering over a longer period of time of growth, employment oriented, and uh, you know, a budget which will possibly uplift the economy as well as the corporate earnings.
Good morning to you, Gaurang sir, and great to have you back with us. Of course, we will be having so much to discuss with you on this very special edition. We'll start off with the auto space, since that is the latest one to take the top spot when it comes to the market move as of yesterday. Maruti Suzuki. And the way it showed spectacular move, and I believe you also talked about Maruti Suzuki when you came last week as well on our program. And 12,827 is already with us. There is this new trigger from UP government on the registration fee waiver. Mr. R.C. Bhargav was with us on the phone line yesterday. He did talk about how if more and more states also come in, there could be a substantial uptick in the long-term volume of this one, the sales that one can really expect from the kind of bump up that one can expect on the hybrid front. Your own sense on Maruti Suzuki? We have 2 to 3 brokerage houses reports all bumping up the targets. We now have a 15,500 kind of a target also coming in from global brokerage houses. Your own sense of how should one approach this?
So this was also thank you, Sakshi, and morning to you as well. This was also one of the untouchable stocks like Tata Motors. It languished at 6,500 for a pretty long period of time. A lot of people had written off because of the unwillingness of the management of Maruti to venture into electric vehicles, thinking that it was a redundant technology and it will take almost 20-25 years for people to accept the new technology, that is the EV technology. But now tables have turned around, I think, for good. Hybrid vehicles have done well for the entire portfolio of Maruti Suzuki. And so as across the board variants in terms of conventional fuel as well as hybrid vehicles. Possibly by this year end or early next year, you will see an electric vehicle from Maruti shed if everything goes well. Uh, Registration fees getting done away with in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Chief Minister Mr. Yogi has possibly done the right thing, and my sense is that maybe some other states might also take a cue. 15,000 is just a number, Sakshi. I think with the kind of opportunity that lies for the auto sector, possibly there is much more ahead of that particular level. And this is not only restricted to Maruti Suzuki, but also for the other four-wheeler, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, and CVs manufacturing companies.
Right. Coming to you, Gaurang, on this rally that we are seeing dramatically accelerate in real stocks, as also defense. Some parts appear to be intensely overheated. Are these valuations giddy? Do you get a feeling every now and then कि बहुत हो गया भाई अब कुछ तो समझो? Or like I was mentioning in my opening comments, there is absolutely no reason to fight with liquidity. How do you feel?
I have learned one thing, Shell, is never to challenge the wisdom of the market by living in that FOMO factor. And whenever you've done that, market has punished you so severely that you will take years to come and stand back on your feet and come to your senses. So my humble request to all your viewers and investors is never challenge the wisdom of the market. Like you were mentioning, if you don't understand anything, it is always better to be on the sideline, watch the show that is going on, and be happy and clap. But never live in that FOMO factor and challenge the wisdom and do something stupid or extraordinary which is against your wisdom, never try to be a Robin Hood of the market, because nobody has been ever been able to, and nobody will ever will be able to be a Robin Hood of the market. So please don't try to do that. Liquidity is there. It is a concern. I was discussing it last week with some of my uh, networking, friends and circles. Uh, Especially the worry that I have to a certain extent is the FOMO feeling of the FIs who have been pumping in left, right, and center. And
Yeah.
whenever these kind of things happen, excess liquidity comes into the market. Market again uses its wisdom and starts balancing its act and gives you a brief period of consolidation, profit booking, whatever you want to call it. But the flip part of it is also the fact, Shell, that there are a lot of fresh paper coming into the market via IPO, which are good paper, good businesses, decent valuation, and very credible management. So, yeah, if I have to put all this into perspective, then excess liquidity can be a case of worry for a short period of time or a medium kind of a time span, but not from a long term point of view.
Okay. Gaurang, also wanted to get your sense of how are you looking at the upcoming earnings season that kickstarts tomorrow, especially with the IT names now, TCS, Infosys, HCL Tech, and of course the string of other firms will start to come in with the earnings. Your own expectations, and is there any surprise that one can hope to see from the IT space, which has been big laggard, and can this be the beginning of an upward move?
Well, I hope the surprise is a pleasant one, not an unpleasant one from the IT facts, Sakshi. Surprises can be either ways. This is what I have learned in the market, Sakshi. So let's hope it's a pleasant one. And we, for one, would definitely want to see a pleasant one because we've been positive on IT. My good friend Shail is witness to that. We've been maintaining positive on view on the IT for the last many years. We continue to do that, especially in an environment where you have challenges in terms of cyber attacks, uh, web criminal activity getting picked up, AI becoming a challenge. It's becoming a curse rather than a blessing. The way people use it, I've always said this in a very open forum, Sakshi, that one should be very, very careful with AI. If you use it in the right way, it's a blessing. If you do it the wrong way, it's a curse. So that's another challenge. And I think if you want to keep your IT environment secure for your customers or subscribers to use it, then you are definitely going to need back-end services of IT companies to keep it secured from external threats. So we remain positive, and I hope there is good news. My sense personally, Sakshi, is that from second quarter onwards, you will see the improvement in earnings picking up space in terms of the run rate. So I expect pleasant, and of course, autos, banking, NBFC should do well. Cement, I'm again optimistic about it. Defense, power, railways, infrastructure are some other themes that I'm looking forward to.
Fair point. Gaurang, coming back to this excessive run-up that we are seeing in the budget, because you look valuations with such great detail and you have a very strong understanding of the market over the last 30 years or so, any one or two stocks that catch your attention, which are valuation-wise good, and our viewers can do a nice sip in them and hold them for about 2, 3 years?
So financials, Shell, is something that I'm extremely uh, optimistic about delivering over a longer period of time. So if I have to name one bank which has been sideways to maybe a up to the mark performer, nothing extraordinary, State Bank of India. I think it was at 850 or 840. I don't really remember State Bank of India's closing yesterday, but that looks very promising. I think one should possibly look out for 1,000 plus targets over longer term, keeping in mind the futuristic earnings that will come through. So these are approximate targets that I'm talking about. And the second one that I would love to, uh, possibly, again, this is an auto space. I have spoken about this stock. And keeping in mind the budget and the EV policy and the likelihood of more goodies coming through for that, Electra Green Tech, we have been positive about this particular stock sale for a long time. We have revised targets on Electra Green Tech to about 22 or 2300. I don't really recollect, but 2200 plus is the target on Electra Green Tech. So these would be the two themes that I would carry forward.
Okay. Well, Gaurang, the other space that I wanted to understand from you is the consumer durable space. Do you see the recent uptick that's coming in have further legs? There are brokerage houses reports on Godrej Consumer. There is Havells that's been making a move of late. Several other stocks, Tata Consumer on the move too. How should one be really approaching this space?
So these are the stocks, from compulsive spending that you have to do and discretionary spend that you have to do, Sakshi. So compulsive would be, the entire universe of FMCG pack, be it Godrej, be it Tata Consumer, be it Dabur, Marico, HUL, ITC, Nestle, Britannia, and likewise. Then you have consumer discretionary names like Blue Star and the Voltas of the world. And of course, then you have names like Titan, which are extraordinary discretionary spends. So, and with the monsoon doing the catch up, which was not the case in last month, there was a deficit this time around. And at least July has done a good beginning. The rain gods have been kind enough in showering their blessings pan India. My our sense is that vertical wise in the consumption space, you will see first recovery coming into FMCG, then consumer discretionary, and then luxury discretionary spends like Titan, etc.
Right. The pre-open is upon us. A green, nice deep green tick, 64 points higher. Actually, the market was supposed to open flat, but the initial kick was 200, 300 points higher. See, this is what liquidity does. Now people are realizing कि funds के पास 40,000 रुपए आए हैं, इन्हें लगाने पड़ेंगे. अब इन्हें लगाने पड़ेंगे तो भाई महंगे में ही लगाओगे, सस्ते में तो कुछ मिलने का. So with that background in mind, ladies and gentlemen, you have 24,484 in the screen, and the big boys are back. Infosys, 11 rupees higher, 1668. There is a nice move coming into ITC, half a percent higher, 455. How about HDFC Bank? Not that anybody cares, but we must mention it. 75 paisa lower at 1635. What's sticking? Well, I think you have a strong move on TCS also, 5 rupees higher, 39.91. Let's see how it moves out. Index is flat at the moment. Let's look at the most active counters on NSE 500 and then take a view on where the gains are coming in. Okay. Swan Energy, this is the second day running a circuit of 5%. There was a very decent block deal happening 2 days ago. That's the reason why you see this movement. Okay, RVNL, 5% higher, 570. Absolutely no let up. Remember, yesterday this counter was extremely, extremely volatile. What else is moving? Mankind Pharma, 2.7% higher, 2160. Remember, you have a block deal of about 762 crore rupees due, 1% equity, which should change hands. That is something that we are looking at. The market is quiet at the moment. Let's look at the FNO space if there's some action. Nothing at all. Abbott India, I haven't remember the last time I marked this stock. Trent, 1.7% higher, 56.87. Uh, Nothing much of interest. Cummins India is in the green, 1.2% higher. Let's look at the top gainers in the FNO space. Oberoi Realty, 1.5% higher, 1744. This is interesting. A nice uptick on Adani Ports, 0.8% higher, 1490. And let's look at some losers on the NSE 500. Again, nothing to be worried about. Chalet Hotels, half a percent lower, 838.6. Emphasis, 1.5% lower, 2560. There's nothing happening in the market in the pre-open. Let it settle, 48 points higher on the Nifty, 24,480. So the battle lines are at 24,500 today. Sakshi, let's hope that we get a close above 24,500 as far as Wednesday's move is concerned. Coming to your Gaurang, within the large caps, apart from private sector banks, what looks good?
Private sector banks, small banks, Federal Bank looks quite interesting. City Union Bank looks very attractive. IDFC First would be the other one. So these would be the three mid to small cap names, if you will, which looks very attractive. And I think earnings, despite the fact that you had uh, update from the business from various banks, public, private, as well as strong NBFCs. In some of the names, there was a little bit of disappointment in terms of the advances deposit number and CASA ratio. But my sense, Shail, is that one quarter business update should not deter your long-term investment goals or horizon.
Okay, let's also welcome Mitesh Panchal on the show and on the panel discussion with us. Warm welcome. Good morning to you, Mitesh. It was autos that were driving the markets to newer highs yesterday. What will carry on the momentum today?
Good morning, Sakshi ji. Good morning, Shailji. Good morning to the panelists and all our viewers. Sakshi, we have come out with two specific reports. First is on the sugar sector. So we think that now the sector rotation is the name of the game. So in
Okay.
sugar sector, we are bullish and we have recommended four stocks in the sugar sector. First is AID Perry. Second is Balrampur Chini. Third is Bannari Yaman. And fourth is Renuka Sugar. So these are the four stocks where we think 25 to 30% upside is visible. Apart from that, one stock where we think that a trend reversal has taken place on the monthly chart and a very strong upside can be seen in next 6 to 9 months. That is Vanity Organics. Above 1850, system and method has given a breakout. So we are holding the stock with the expectation of the stock to move by 30 to 50% in next 9 to 12 months with a target of 2,928. And as far as the indices goes, I think the status quo remains the same. Now we are looking for the strong support as our stop loss. So with 24,000 as far as Nifty is concerned, and as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, we are working with support of close to 52,000. So with 24,000 and 52,000, the long position can be carried away.
Okay. Got that. Okay, Mitesh, how about RVNL and how will you look at the stock today? There was railway stocks that saw profits being taken off yesterday in the last half an hour, 1 hour odd. But RVNL has again got an order and it's looking at a sharp uptick again today, 6.5% higher. How would you look at this stock?
See, not only RVNL, the structure looks good, but again, Sakshi, what we have repeatedly told on the channel is that the trailing stop loss strategy is very boring. And in all these stocks where the extension of the trend has taken place, for an example, take an example of REC PFC, again come back into the limelight. So, trailing stop loss is the name of the game. Over here, I recommend, as far as RVNL is concerned, one should put a stop of 543 on a closing basis and continue the position. No need to take the long position because risk reward ratio is not favorable. But yes, as far as the new position is concerned, take a trailing stop loss of 543 and continue the position.
Okay, let's get Gaurang into the conversation and address the elephant in the room. Gaurang, lots of rumors floating around that SEBI is going to cut down on derivative trading by either reducing the number of weekly expiries in indices or by increasing the size of the derivative contract four to about 25 to 30 lakh units. Both of these can also happen. Given this background in mind, how do you think that the broking universe, the exchange universe, the back end of financializations of assets theme will work in the market? I'm sure a lot of brokers, including you, are worried.
Well, Shall I look at the entire development with with my view in terms of protecting the investor's interest. And Shell, honestly speaking, you and me are witness to the kind of rush that we've seen in the FNO segment, especially the puts and the calls of the world. And we've also seen the disaster that some of the individual traders, without understanding the risk involved, jumping into this particular chaos and crowd, thinking that they will also make a killing and have their piece of cake and eat it too. And in return, these events have translated into such a bitter experience that, you know, there has been total financial disaster in that particular individual's life, family life has gone out of the window, and your career has gone for a toss because you have incurred losses to that extent that you can even not dream of ever paying it off. When these kind of situations starts coming in the forefront, Shell, it is only prudent to see the regulator step in and bring in some kind of discipline, decency, and sanity. And we all know, Shell, 10 out of 10 people who trade into this FNO segment or who are traders, 8 or 9 of them make losses. 1 or 2 of them make profits. I think it is only to get this entire crowd which has gathered into this particular bunch of segment. It is only to sanitize the entire process and bring in a little bit of discipline. I am personally very happy about the so-called decision which may come through in terms of putting curbs to the contract size or even to the number of trades.
Fair point. You've sidestepped the question in terms of how will it impact brokers. You and I have been people who've dealt only in cash stocks in our lives, and FNO, while we track it, is intuitively alien to us. But यहाँ तो धंधे पर बनाई है.
I'm sorry, Shell?
मैं कह रहा हूँ कि यहाँ तो धंधे पर बनाई है brokers के. I mean, look at valuations across the board. Broking stocks have gone up 5, 7, 10 times because of this mad rush to trade FNO. If these two are implemented in the way that they are being talked about, you have a serious crisis on your hand as a broker, as a listed broker.
No, you have to be a disciplined broker also, Shell. We have known cases where certain brokers give you multiple limits just to entice you to go and trade more. There are also rules over there, Shell. And I think if you want to dig your own grave with your own spade and paddle, it's your choice. I mean, you need to be disciplined, whichever. I mean, just to make your income and brokerage, why do you want to kill an innocent, person who doesn't know much about these derivative segment of puts and the calls of the world, share? And eventually look at the long-term growth story, share. If markets are going to grow at 15% or 12% per annum, I'm talking about index, share, Sensex and Nifty. If I have looked like 5 years and 3 years or 5 years and maybe beyond that, if it is a healthy market, more and more investors will come to the market from wherever we are right now, or maybe higher single digit total percentage of the population investing into stock market via mutual fund or direct into the equity. If that number goes to even 15% or 20% of the total population share, look at the base that we are talking about. Look at the long term growth that we are talking about. So why do you want to be penny wise pound foolish?
Absolutely. Point well taken, Gaurangji, and we will ensure and hope that all our viewers get to hear this wise pearl of wisdom throughout the day today in a separate chunk, because this is an important one that one should be really looking at this point. We're just about 2 minutes away from the markets to open, and delivery has already seen a block deal take place. About 2.34 crore shares have exchanged hands. That's about 3.17% equity in the block deal window as well. But Miteshji, coming to you, how will you trade Maruti Suzuki today? After that sharp 7% uptick yesterday, will the momentum be carrying forward even today? And can one still take a dip in this one today?
Sakshi, this is the last question is very important. Can we still take position today? And the answer is yes, because the marathon run has just started. And I think again, the stock is eyeing at a higher target of 15,000 rupees. So with a stop of 12,000 rupees now, you can go and carry the position. And please look at please also look at the chart of Tata Motors, because it is also hovering around that 1,000 level. So sooner than later, we will also talk about the same. And probably the stock is heading toward 1250, 1250. That is our ultimate target. So yes, both Tata Motors and Maruti looking very promising. Yesterday, Maruti has given a very strong breakout after a very long consolidation period. So yes, it's a buy.
Okay, got that. So that's the kind of move that we can expect on Maruti. It seems to be the real estate space also that will be picking up pace today. Anything that strikes your attention within the real estate space, Mitesh? Quickly.
On the real estate space, I think what we are looking at is a DLF. DLF is looking very promising as of now, and I think after much of a consolidation between 800 and 850, now the stock is going to give us a breakout above 852. So that is the level which we are watching at. So above 852, it's a buy with a stop of 840 for a potential target of 880 and 900.
Ladies and gentlemen, the markets are upon us. Opening polls have the Nifty on a back foot, very marginally, 24,422 for you, 14 points lower. About 100 points down on the bank Nifty, 52,435. A red tick on the IT index and almost flat tail on NSE 500. Now let's dip into what's happening within the index heavyweights. Okay, I'm keen on only IT to begin with. TCS, earnings boy tomorrow, 12 rupees higher, 39.97. How about Infosys? Mildly weak, 6 rupees lower, 16.52. What is HDFC Bank doing? 7 rupees lower, almost 8 rupees lower at 16.28. And how about Reliance? 7 rupees higher, 31.88. So at the moment, it's the defensives in IT as well as FMCG that is leading the charge. Hindustan Unilever is 7 rupees higher, 25.97. ITC is almost 1 rupee 75 higher at 454.25. The block deal on delivery has been done, so keep an eye out on that one. And ladies and gentlemen, you have a digit change on Maruti, record high 13,073, 1.75% higher. Remember, you are in the 12,600 Maruti call since yesterday morning. We'll check a price of that a little later. Let's look at the top gainers as far as NSE 500 is concerned. I'm sure all action is in cash. Okay, 5% on RVNL, ladies and gentlemen. 570 for you. Vijaya Diagnostics, 3.5% higher, 845. GMDC, 3% higher, 426. Let's look at Mankind Pharma, 2.5% higher, about 2160. This is a block deal that was to be happening. A lot of interesting stocks from the medical ancillary space. Polymed, which is Polymedicure, 2.3% higher, 2188. Let's look at losers. M&M, okay, 3.5% higher, 2825. Profit booking in Bombay Burma, 2% lower, 2309. Fertilizer stocks, a bit of a profit booking, RCF in fact in the red. This is how the markets are structured. Nifty down 29 at 24,405. Mitesh ji, what will be your first step into the market? What looks good?
Sir, what is looking very promising as of now, I think within the entire space is the entire FMCG pack, and within that, what we are looking at is a Britannia, a very strong comeback above 5680. So Britannia is looking interesting for the day. I think 5800 should be the target for intraday. Coupled with that, I think the momentum is still going on with Titan. So Titan is the second pick which we are looking at 3248 with a target of 30. 300, for the day. So Titan and Britannia looks interesting in the opening remarks.
Okay, Titan is an interesting one. Let's get Gaurangji into the conversation. Gaurangji, we heard from the management the business update, which was largely disappointing, and then the Goldman Sachs report also came in, which was further disappointed by this one. But the entire space seems to be again rattling with consumer demand, which is lower at this point in time when it comes to the jewelry segment. How are you looking at Titan, sir?
Remember, Sakshi, I requested you to visit your jeweler sometime
Yes.
back. And I would still again request you to do that in case if you've not done that. And I also mentioned about Titan being, luxury discretionary spend when we're discussing the entire consumption theme.
Yeah.
4,000 plus is the target, Sakshi, on Titan. And my sense is that, one quarter, you can't expect the companies to deliver 20% quarter on quarter growth. There will be times when companies face some situation which is totally, are totally out of their control. And that may impact that particular quarter's earnings. But does that mean that long-term objectives have to be totally erased off or deleted from your portfolio? I absolutely would not advise to do that. And from these levels, Sakshi, I believe the downside is extremely protected. It's a great investment theme in case if you're looking at long-term investments into consumer discretionary, luxury consumer discretionary.
Okay, fine. We'll keep an eye out on Titan then. 1.4% higher for Maruti Suzuki. It's above that 13,000 mark now. Looking forward to its retesting of the earlier all-time high level of 13,773. Eicher Motors follow suit, a percent higher in trade. Grasim, Titan, Adani Ports, Britannia, Bajaj Auto. These remain the top movers on the Nifty right now. Real estate sector is opening about 0.9% higher. Consumer durables, oil and gas, FMCG, infra and pharma now picking up pace. Now even IT is picking up pace by about 0.2% up. But let's look at the F&O space. Mahanagar Gas, Indraprastha Gas. These are the stocks that are buzzing. Gujarat Gas, buzzing in trade. We have Shree Cement and also Manappuram Finance, some of the other big movers. Gas stocks for you, Mitesh ji. How are you looking at this momentum within the F&O space?
Yeah, see, the momentum is going on, and I think what is looking interesting is IGL.
Mitesh ji, could you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah. I'm unmuted only. Hello, my voice is reachable.
Yes, we could hear you now.
Okay. So IGL is looking very interesting.
No, I think there is some kind of... could you say something, sir?
Hello.
I can hear you. Yes, please go ahead.
IGL is something which is looking very interesting to us. Above 530, it's a breakout. So with a stop of 528, one should go long for a potential target of 550 and 560 in near future.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll just pay attention to the broader market. Slippages on the Bank Nifty are now increasing. Remember, today is the weekly expiry. 52 to 250 now, 300 points lower. Let's see what's pulling this down as far as the banking space is concerned. And there you have it. ICICI Bank is down 0.1%. You have Bandhan Bank 1.2% lower. HDFC Bank is down 4.6%. Almost a percentage point loss on SBI. And of course, Federal and Canara Bank and Bank of Baroda also slipping in trade. Remember, all 12 stocks comprising the Bank Nifty are in the red, but absolutely nothing to be bothered about. Market hai, it will find a reason to go up. And that reason today, ladies and gentlemen, is being provided by Infosys. Mitesh ji, coming to you. This is 0.67% higher, Infosys, 1670. What are the charts telling you? Tomorrow is the big day when TCS declares its second quarter earnings.
Yeah, so as far as IT Pack is concerned, Salji, majority of the stocks are showing a strong positive momentum. So as far as the Infosys is concerned, technically above 1660, there is a breakout. So one should go long definitely, irrespective of the event tomorrow, because being a technical analyst, we don't fall into these kind of a subjective things, but we need to work with the numbers and the levels. So above 1660, it's a comfortably a buy. So here the stop is 1640 and the target will be 1700 and 1720. And within the same basket, what is looking much more interesting and promising is Wipro. If you look at the chart pattern of Wipro, it is also showing a sign of a heart of hard bottom formation, and a clear-cut strong accumulation is going on at the lower levels. So Wipro is definitely a buy at the current level with a stop of 530 for the potential target of 560 and 580 in the near future.
Fair point. This is also moving pretty well. It's pretty early in the markets to look at open interest in the first 5-7 minutes of trade, but well, point taken. Oil and gas, Mahanagar and Indraprastha Gas are the top performers. I remember Mahanagar raised the prices of home CNG yesterday in Mumbai. So that is a thing that's working pretty well. Broader markets, a round of profit booking, ladies and gentlemen. The NSE 500 index is down about 20 points. Let's look at the other 19 that we track for you. Okay, it's a blanket, a mild blanket of red. Auto index is the top loser, 0.5% lower, 25,672. You have the banking stocks slipping lower. What's up? IT, a third of a percent higher on the index, almost 37,800 on the board, the Nifty Alpha 50 and the FMCG and the pharma index. So the market is moving into defensive space. Maruti, ladies and gentlemen, this is, I think, now a record high, and this is where we will sort of shut down the option trade that we had suggested yesterday. Maruti is at 13,106. Yes, this is a record high. And the 12,600 option call, I'm requesting the PCR to show it. Remember, we picked it up at 230, 240 yesterday. Let us see what the price is at this point of time. 618. You've made a very, very decent, almost, let's say, 1.5, 1.7 times your money. इसको अब यहाँ पर नमस्कार कर देते हैं. And then let's look at what else is buzzing. Mankind Pharma. Mitesh ji, what are the charts telling you at 200 DMA after this huge block deal?
Very strong setup, Shailji, as far as Mankind Pharma is concerned. And I think from the lower level, we have seen a very strong buying in the stock. So definitely above 2180, it's a clear-cut buy. So here the stop will be at 2150, and the potential target will be 2300 and 2450 in next few days only.
Okay, got that. Right, apart from this, several other stocks which are making the strong moves right now are CAMS. That's up 6% higher in trade. You have Walchand Nagar Industries, that's up 5.5%. Those are the stocks that are catching my attention. Nykaa is up by 2.4%. Let's get Gaurang into the conversation. Gaurang, how about the new age internet space stocks? Zomato hit an all-time high level yesterday. Nykaa is picking up pace. Paytm was in the buzz over the last few trading sessions again. How should one be really looking at these two stocks, these few stocks right ahead of the earnings this time around?
So Paytm, Nykaa and Zomato, we have maintained positive coverage on these three names. Paytm, slow and steadily, I think, with the kind of statements that we've been getting, there has been more clarity come through. We need more clarity to have a very stable outlook. But all these three stocks, we've been maintaining positive coverage, buy or a hold. And Nykaa is a case where you will see a longish recovery in terms of stock prices, given the kind of valuation that we had, and that was also an issue. So maintaining a positive coverage, but don't expect any miracle runaway rally in a short to medium term kind of a time.
Fair enough. It's the real estate stocks that are taking it away. The index is up by 0.9% now. Mitesh, you had mentioned DLF. Anything within the broader market space and the real estate space that now again looks positive to you?
Even overall reality is looking positive on the chart. So if you look at the chart of overall reality, the daily and the hourly chart patterns are clearly showing a strong buying momentum from the lower level. And there has been a strong breakout on even 15 minutes chart. So above 1730, there is a clear-cut breakout. So 1700 stop, one can go long into the stock. 1800, 1850 is the next target.
928, ladies and gentlemen, and the favorite twins are back. Power Finance Corporation and RECL, both of them in very strong momentum. Needless to say, a record high 622 on REC, 1.4% higher, and PFC 556, 1.6% higher. Mitesh ji, is it very difficult to make a choice between REC and PFC, or do you have a favorite?
See, if you look at the chart pattern strategy of last 15 days, there is a decoupling taking place between REC and PFC. Now, earlier, both the stocks are moving in the one direction with the same percentage, coming also down with the same percentage. But now, REC is taking a lead. So, my preference will be PFC over here because PFC is a laggard with respect to last few days. So, PFC is definitely a buy at the current level. And the re-rating has already taken place in the stock as we have discussed earlier. Just have a trading stop loss and continue the trend.
Okay, there's no stopping Maruti, ladies and gentlemen, 13,144. And even in the first 15 minutes of trade, you have an open interest which is 4.4% higher on Maruti. So this is something that is really, really buzzing. And in the same space, I must also mention a 4% down cut on M&M. Remember, the company has cut down the prices of its top selling SUV. Now, this is just profit booking, but our job is to mark the price of what is buzzing in the market. So far, it's the first 15 minutes that have gone to the bears. A nice light shade of red across the last street and decent amount of profit booking that's happening in frontline counters. Bits and pieces of auto ancillaries are moving. Let's look at the agri theme and find out if there is anything out of the ordinary that's happening in prices. I want to see what sugar is doing because Mitesh is with us and he's filed a report on sugar. Rana Sugar up 1.2%, 25.50. This is the top gainer. Balrampur Chini 0.7% higher, 434. Magad and KCP Sugars are the other gainers. Nothing much here. How about paper stocks? They were buzzing, remember. J paper stocks, okay. You have quantum paper, 0.5% higher. Imami paper, 1.4% higher. Andhra paper, 0.5% higher. How about JK paper? I want to see what JK paper is doing. Okay, we'll take a look at that one. But taking it away is Mankind Pharma. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a counter available at 200-day DMA. The IPO price was at 1080. We've seen a block deal happening recently, and the all-time high was 2493. Coming to you, Goranji, any view that you would hold on Mankind Pharma?
Well, honestly, Shell, this is one of the, and it's very recently listed, Shell, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes.
part long back. When the issue came into hit to the market, there was a perspective that it is very richly valued. And in terms of upside headroom, was very limited. But surprise, surprise, look at the kind of performance that this particular stock has given you. And Shell, some of the products of this particular company are, they have a huge market share, and they are quite innovative in terms of launching new products. I won't comment specifically on buy, sell, and hold because we don't have a coverage, but it is this, despite the kind of run up that we've seen on the earnings visibility, my sense is that there is much more headroom. And the good part about this company is, they are very innovative. That's what you need in the kind of field that you cater to.
Okay, got that. Because we are discussing the pharma space and Mankind as well, there's this new listing of MCure Pharma that will take
Yes.
place today. So, Gaurangji, I wanted to understand from you, how are you looking at this opportunity for investors? And whether this could be another case of a substantial bull run that one can expect, just like how Mankind has emerged within MCure, or will the case be different?
Well, I think MQR not likewise business, Sakshi. Can't compare apple to apple over here. And again, we didn't cover this particular IPO, so in terms of subscribe or avoid, so won't be able to comment specifically on the performance. But one possibly will need to just wait and watch in terms of earnings delivery to decide how durable the growth story is.
Okay, got that. Well, no stopping Maruti Suzuki. 13,170 right now. We also hit 13,211. That's the new all-time high level right now. Came off a bit from that level, but Mitesh ji, even at this level, can one go ahead and buy?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And when Sakshi when the trend takes place, it is generally a surprise for people like us to see the stocks at a high level because we are not used to it, right? That is what has happened in the case of PSUs, and many people will miss the rally and think that this is too much and now the correction is on the card. Technically speaking, yes, even at 13,170, it's a buy. But make sure one thing that when you are entering at a high level, be prepared for a higher volatility. There might be some sort of a profit booking. So if the stock is available at 12,800, 900 levels, don't get surprised to it. it is just a minor profit booking. So yes, at 13,178, it's a clear-cut buy. Now the next target which comes in, which I have discussed earlier, is 15,000. So the current trend will extend till 15,000 rupees.
Okay, got that. So that's Maruti Suzuki for you. iShares is following suit, 1.7% higher. Would you also have a view on iShares, Mitesh ji?
Yeah, after a consolidation, the stock has come up and I think technically looking very promising. Yesterday on 15 minutes chart and half an hour chart, we have seen a good amount of activity and the buying interest has been witnessed at the lower level. So definitely ISR is also buy at the current level. One should take a stop at 84800 4800. That is a stop. And the immediate target is 5150 to 5300. So yes, a very strong rally is also on the card as far as iShares Motor is concerned.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a detour into the all-time highs in the market, despite the broader space showing a mild downtick as far as profit booking is taking place. We've discussed Maruti ad nauseum. CAMS 4243. Remember, CAMS is a monopoly play in the back end of all mutual funds that operate digitally. About 80% of the mutual fund backend, irrespective of 42 AMCs, is held by this company. And because you've seen such a sharp inflow of SIPs coming in specifically for the month of June, and also for the last 2.5 years, this stock is in a super duper uptrend. If you were with us about 10 days ago, we had a gentleman, Mr. Sunil Shah, and he had mentioned that CAMS and CDSL are two stocks that will show a very, very sharp uptick even from current levels. So, what all are rating record highs? Grasim 2789. This is something that we don't discuss, and we'll get Goran's opinion on this one. Britannia is what has been mentioned by Mitesh ji. Signature Global, this is a real estate play out of Gurgaon. 1553, they had recently announced a project in Gurgaon which had got a lot of positive feedback. ICICI Bank, 0.5% lower, 1242, still in the green. Let's get Gorang into the conversation. Gorang, something that both you and I have grown up with, Grasim. We've never discussed it. And here is the flagship of the Aditya Birla Group at a record high. Cement play, telecom play, soda ash play, you name it, it has it.
Well, along with that, paint is the new business shell, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Opus, I believe, is the brand
Yeah.
paint. Yeah, so I mean, more the merrier. Balance sheet will look nice and healthy and dancing with the kind of contribution that you will see coming through from different business verticals. Have been positive on Grasim for a pretty long period of time, and we continue to maintain that cement is going to cement the growth story going forward from here on.
Okay. Sakshi, one interesting thing I wanted to mention. Today morning, I was thinking of the Birla Opus thing. And of course, you were, I think, probably in first standard or maybe even lower KG or nursery. Gaurang, do you remember that Gattu ad that Asian Paint used to come out with?
And it was in black and white also at one point of time. Correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
So
That's
if you watch the Birla Opus ad, it's of course not the same character, but it's
but more or
the
less.
the psychology of the ad that wants you to go back in maybe 1980s and then think of Birla Opus at that point of time. This is just an aside, but here is a company, Grasim, that has added 20% capacity in a sector that has just four players, and the first two are dominant ones, controlling about maybe 70-75% of the market. That's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. When we get Gorang on the show, I go back in time and think of all those lovely days that they were there in the Lal Street. And when Gorang is with us, how can we not discuss JK Lakshmi Cement?
Oh
Gorang,
yeah.
because of you, it's buzzing.
No, that's what I was saying, Shell. cement concrete your portfolio. I think it's the theme mantra of growth story. And
Yeah.
there has always been this approach during monsoon that cement offtake is slow, construction activities on the back burner. Shell, people are forgetting that we are in a technology oriented world.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Earlier, it used to take 3 weeks for a slab to dry off and become a solid concrete. Today, you need just 24 hours. That's the kind of technology that has taken place. So, and I know I've been looking at the data for the last 5 years, Shell. During the monsoon, the offtake of cement bags. And every year, Shell, during this time, during monsoon, every year the growth is almost about 10 to 15% offtake of cement bags month on month. Now, where is the slow growth? I don't understand that. People are talking about living uh, much ahead of their time, and here we are spinning back in time. So we need to come out of this cycle that we live in.
Absolutely. Sakshi, do you remember that gut to ad that came on Asian Paints? I'm sure you don't.
I don't have any idea about it.
Well, Sakshi can
I will
Google
go
it
and
or
Google.
possibly
Yes,
YouTube it, search it. You
I
might
will
get
do
it.
that.
Okay. Mitesh ji, do you remember the gut to ad on Asian Paints?
Yeah, I do because my mama is one of the biggest distributor of Asian paints in Surat. So I know,
Okay.
and because he used to
Is he
tell when,
having a tough time these days?
yeah, so whenever he comes to home, he used to tell that the sales of Gattu is like anything, and people are coming and asking for that only. And my brother had also worked with Asian paints from
Okay.
1995 to 2005. So yeah, good memory with Asian paints.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we go back memory times in the Lal Street, and it's always good to have these wonderful conversations. But taking it away, Sakshi, is power. NTPC 1.6% higher, 384.90. And for those who are new in the market, remember whenever it rains very hard, the entire hydropower theme comes back into focus. Therefore, you see a nice rally in NHPC, and therefore you see a nice uptick in SGBN, because hydropower output goes for a nice uptick as rivers swell because of monsoon. Mitesh ji, your top pick in the pharma space. What's buzzing?
Undoubtedly, looping. That's what we have discussed last time as well. The after a very long period of time, the stock is coming back, and now there is no looking back for the stock. I think within the entire space, one should look at Lupin above 1700. We get a very strong confirmation on the chart. So now 1700 is a stop. The first target is 2200. Second target is 2500. Probably in next 6 to 9 months, we will see to it that the stock is trailing between 2200 to 2500.
Okay, got that. Lupin, we will keep an eye out on within the pharma space. Let's look at the broader markets to see where exactly is the action, buzzing. A lot of stocks that are flying away. Stocks like, okay, from the railways pack again, IRFC, Ircon International, they're flying away 4%, 5% higher in trade. You have UCAL Limited, that's up and about. You have Mayur Uniquoters after a long haul, it's up by 5%. Metro Brands is buzzing 4.5% higher. You have Kalpatru Projects International, that's buzzing 4% up. Then you also have stocks like Pfizer coming back 4% up in trade right now. Jyoti CNC Automation is up and about. Slew of these different stocks. I just wanted to mention the kind of momentum that we are seeing across sectors, viewers, and GMDC within the metals mining pack also up and about. PC Jewelers, no stopping there from last few days. It's been continuously moving up. Anything, Mitesh ji, that attracts your attention within the broader market space?
So now the recent breakout has took place in Tata Power, and that is looking very promising.
Okay.
Just now the future is trading at 442.85, 443. Above 441, there is a strong breakout. So one should go long in Tata Power with a stop of 440 today in the current month future for the intraday target of 448 and 452.
Okay, got that. Let's get Gaurangji into the conversation. Gaurangji, power space, the one that we've discussed many times over. Where do you see, the momentum carrying forward? Where can one still take a bet? Power Finance Corporation, REC, NHPC, NTPC, Tata Power, Adani Power, all of the space stocks are actually buzzing away in trade today.
I think you have to see the entire universe of power. Not only restrict yourself to power generation, power transmission, distribution, or power equipments. You have to see it in the entire universe perspective, because if one has to grow, the other has to follow. Sakshi, that's the kind of approach that we have. So amongst the power generation, we have Tata Power, CAC, NTPC. Amongst power transmission and distribution, we have names like Power Grid, which is also stepping into solar power generation. And amongst the power equipment companies, we like names like KC International, just to name a few, just to name one of them. And PFC and the REC of the world, we used to have coverage. Since our targets were in place, we have kind of exited the coverage. But these two companies are also quite promising in terms of long-term growth story.
9:45, ladies and gentlemen. The first half hour has lapsed. The Nifty is at its day's low, 24,378. Remember, we are on T minus one. Tomorrow is the weekly expiry of the Nifty. Now, the most immediate support is 24,360. Let us see whether the market reverses from that or not, because the peak for today is 24,460. So 100 पॉइंट का डाउन टिक आपको अभी देखने को मिल रहा है. What else is looking interesting on the Nifty? Let's look at stocks that are contributing to this Nifty move on the downside. You have the advanced decline of the ratio of the Nifty at 21:29. So that's how the broader theme is placed. Okay, M&M is pulling the Nifty down by 34 points. The counters down 5.5. Reliance by 11 points, SBI by 10 points, ICICI and Axis by 9 and 7. So the Bank Nifty's weekly expiry is falling heavy on the Nifty, as also the sharp profit booking on M&M. Okay, what's pulling the Nifty higher? Maruti, 13 points, NTPC, Bharti Airtel, 6 and 5 points respectively. Net basis, Nifty is down 58. Let us see whether 24,360 holds or not. But there is absolutely a runaway rally that's happening in the railway space ahead of the budget, led by RVNL, now 9 percentage points higher at 588. IRFC is 3.5% higher, 202. IRCON is 2.9% higher, 321. RailTel, TexRail, BEML, Timken, IRCTC, all of them are showing decent gains. Are there any new additions as far as volume buzzers are concerned? We should be looking at them because the half an hour is now lapsed. Swan Energy, a strong block deal that happened 2 days ago, is providing enthusiasm. 37,82,000 shares are traded, 3.2 times the average. CAMS taking it away, 2.75 times the 5-day average, counter at a record high. Mankind is news-led, delivery is news-led. Already RVNL is 1x volume, 6 crore shares. So keep an eye out on this one. M&M is falling on heavy volumes. 1x volumes already done 25 lakhs. Nothing much of interest here. Sakshi, what are you watching?
Well, two IPOs that will be getting listed today. MCure is settling in at 1325 odd levels. This is a 32% premium listing that we can expect. 1008 was the issue price. Bansal Wire is the other one that is going to be getting listed today. And the settled price right now in the pre-opening trade is 356 against the issue price of 256. A 37% uptake is what we can expect on this one. So we'll keep an eye out on this at 10 a.m. when the final prices are upon us for these two stocks as well. More segments of the markets now slipping into the red. We only have realty, consumer durables, FMCG, which are holding up into the green. Power space is definitely holding up. Gas space, autos, these are the pockets that are still holding up and about in trade right now. Gaurangji, would you have a view on Bansal Wire at all after the IPO came in?
Sakshi can't comment on this. I had not.
Okay, fair enough. Never mind. We will also discuss the pharma space with you, sir, which we haven't discussed with you. We discussed it with Mitesh ji. With the recent run-up that has happened, where are you keeping your focus within the pharma pack, sir?
Well, so priority definitely would be to the top four names, Sun, Cipla, Dr. Reddy's and Divi's. And if I have to slip down to the mid-cap universe in the pharma, then Zydus Life, Zydus Wellness, Aurobindo and Atco Pharma would be the other choice in terms of long-term investment idea.
Okay. Within the telecom space, I remember discussing with you, Gaurangji, both Bharti Airtel and Bharti Hexacom. Both of these stocks you were positive on. Today, Axis Cap has initiated coverage on Hexacom with an 11% upside expectation. Your own sense on the telecom space, and there was a momentum phase and then it's consolidating right now. How should one view this?
So we also seen the tariff hike very recent,
Yes.
Sakshi, which is going to be expensive in your and my pockets and everybody's pocket. And this ARPU, according to the statement made by one of the leading cellular service provider company management, 300 rupees could
યશદીપભાઈ મારો શો ચાલુ છે
target.
બેઝિકલી આજે બી
So
ઇન્ટ્રાડેમાં
from
ખાસ
that
થતું
point
નથી
of
પણ
view,
ટાઈમ્સની
I
અંદર અને
guess you
આમાં
would look
જે
at much more upside. Remain positive on Jio, Bharti, and on Bharti Hexacom, we had given a subscribe recommendation when the IPO hit the floor about 3 months back at about 585 rupees.
Fair point. I think there's a mild recovery, Sakshi. So 24,360, 24,350 has held. Let's see how it goes. But a fairly strong move coming back into the markets. What's really buzzing? This is something that we used to discuss earlier, but given that the momentum has slipped out, we stopped discussing Lal Path Lab. 2901, again the pharma theme working pretty well. I don't even remember the stock, the chart of Lal Path Labs. It's been such a long time. Okay, 2914. Mitesh ji, what is Lal Path Lab telling you?
So the momentum is strong, 1850 above. So one should put a stop of 1850. Buy even today. Even the stock is down by 1%, not an issue because on hourly and monthly chart it is looking very promising. So 3,100, 3,200 should be the target for the next 10 to 15 training sessions. Yeah, definitely one should go long.
Okay. And the reason why I don't remember the chart of Lalpath is that somewhere in the peak of COVID, the all-time high for this one was 4,248. And then it just went into a tailspin. And now it's moved up from 2,000 rupees to 2,900 in a span of 3-4 weeks. Quiet trade in the market, more profit booking than what the frontline counters seem to be offering. Sakshi and I discuss Honasa a lot, but we'll keep it off TV. In the green, 471.95. What else is moving? Nothing on the green side, nothing at all. It's all quiet. मितेश जी आप भी बताइए आपको क्या दिख रहा है हमें तो कुछ नहीं दिख रहा
सर जो आप बोल रहे थे अभी मोमेंटम कहाँ से आया बिट ऑफ ग्रीन टिक इज कमिंग फ्रॉम एचडीएफसी बैंक फ्रॉम रेड टू ग्रीन नाउ and now Tata Consumer is also buzzing along with Britannia. So I think banking space, private banking space, probably in the second half will pick up a bit. That is what is visible. और आज अगर कमाल करेगा शायद बाजार को संभालने का तो एचडीएफसी बैंक ही करेगा क्योंकि अभी तक का जो चार्ट पैटर्न है दैट इज लुकिंग वेरी प्रॉमिसिंग प्रोबेबली वी आर लुकिंग एट एन आवरली कैंडल if on the hourly candle stock again maintain the same momentum, then probably for the whole day HDFC Bank is the stock which one should look at.
Okay, got that. HDFC Bank is something that we'll keep an eye out on again. Now, very far and few between stocks that are still holding up and about right now. Manappuram Finance, how are you looking at the stock right now, Mitesh ji? Is there a momentum that should be chased within this space?
Yes, in the half an hour candle, it has given a strong breakout. So yes, Manappuram is a preferred choice for an intraday today. One should keep a stop of around 210. Today's intraday target will be 218, 222. And by the time we speak, Sakshi ji, again, HDFC Bank at a day's high.
Okay, HDFC Bank is something that we'll continue to track. After 2 days of sideways momentum, the stock seems to be coming back. Let's hope that it is now the driving force today for the Nifty to recover and come back to fresh record highs in the latter half. Okay, what else is buzzing is Raymond back again, 4.5% higher, Mitesh ji, for you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm supposed to discuss about two stocks. One stock you picked up, that is Raymond. Second is Indigo Paint is also buzzing. So yeah, coming back to Raymond, Raymond 5% up, a strong momentum, very strong volume. So 3200 should be your stop for the day. Intraday target 3260, 3280, and if you continue with the trend, probably 3350 could be the next target. As far as Indigo Paint is concerned, 1450, 1415 is where the stock is trading. So at 1400 is your stop. 1430, 1450 should be a target for intraday.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 9:55 and Sakshi, a subset of the power sector is doing well. These are people who erect these power towers that you see intrastate, the ones that transmit electricity across vast distances. Look at KPIL. This is, I think, 4.5% higher. Now 5% higher, 1375. Needless to say, this is a record high. Look at Power Mech. We don't discuss this
Yes.
stock. This is a power. This is a power ancillary based out of Gurgaon, 3.4% higher, 5296. A lot of repairs need to be done on all these power towers, and this is something that Power Mech does pretty well. So keep an eye out on these two. Volt amp transformers, 12,628, high value counter, but doing pretty well in trade. And this is what I can see on the on the green side. Another little known stock that we don't talk about is Concord Bio. Today, 2.7% higher at 1743. This is a stock that has recovered from initial lows. Again, newly listed and had seen better days. But yes, okay, it's at a record high, ladies and gentlemen. It's very difficult for me to take a view at record high levels, but this is something that you need to look at. There was a block deal at on 28th of May, and from then on, it's been a one-way journey all the way up, and today it is at a record high. Sakshi.
All right, we'll start wrapping up the morning edition now. And thank you so much, Mitesh, for sharing with us all your thoughts and ideas for today. And we'll continue to track all the stocks that you've mentioned and the stocks that within the sugar space you mentioned, Vinati Organics that you mentioned. All of these stocks will be something that we'll continue to keep an eye out on. And HDFC Bank towards the end that you talked about, Indigo Paints and even Raymond. These are the stocks that we'll continue to keep an eye out on through the course of the day. Record high for Maruti Suzuki, 13,215, 3% uptick that continues. That's the other one that both of our guests have mentioned today to keep a keen eye out on. Second day in a row looks to be another stock that will continue to keep the losses under check for the markets. 24,372 right now for the Nifty viewers. Realty, FMCG, consumer durables. So only three sectors that are holding up into the green. Rest of the markets have actually slipped away. India VIX is up 0.5% higher at 14.3 odd levels. Key to keep an eye out on this space as well. Within the F&O space, beyond Maruti Suzuki, you have Manappuram Finance, Oberoi Realty, Shree Cement, Mahanagar Gas, Britannia, and Eicher Motors as the stocks that are buzzing. On the Nifty, you have Maruti, Eicher, Britannia, NTPC, Divis, Laboratories, Titan and Bajaj Auto as the top movers. Top drags on the Nifty right now today, M&M, 5% lower in trade, 27.75. This is after the prices for SUVs have been slashed by the company. HCL Technologies, State Bank of India, Shriram Finance, Coal India, BPCL, oil and natural gas, Reliance Industries are in the red, and therefore you do see the market slipping away. PSU index has also now slipped from the higher levels into the red. Only just about 4-5 stocks within the past space holding up. Power Finance Corporation, NTPC, REC, NHPC and Bharat Electronics seems to be gaining ground. But within the broader markets, there's still a lot of action. Just like how Shail pointed out, power ancillaries, auto ancillaries, textile makers, new age companies like Honasa, Nykaa, they're still holding up in trade, and we'll continue to watch out for those as well. But we'll wrap it up at that on the morning edition. Many thanks, viewers, for staying with us through this trade. But do stay tuned on to Business Today Television. It's an action-packed day for you. There'll be several important conversations that you need to catch up. There will be an important conversation with Emcure Pharmaceuticals, the newly listed giant for today. We'll also keep an eye out on 10 a.m. right now. Let's see whether we have the prices of both Emcure and Bansal Wires as well. So Emcure Pharmaceuticals will be with us at 11:30. We also have 12 o'clock, you know, it's daily calls. Then we have a market guru that Shail will be anchoring, and 2:30 p.m. we'll both be back for the closing edition as well. So that's the kind of lineup that we have for you. Let's see whether we have the visuals from the National Stock Exchange for both these companies. All right, we will just get that for you up and running beyond this show. But many thanks, viewers, for joining in on this edition. Dharmeshji, your sense, agro-related stocks, how will you look at it?
This is actually, as far as government is concerned, they have already hiked the MSP prices of 14 crops in India. So that is always done outside the budget, but that has been done. Fertilizer subsidy is one thing which one can expect some more to come through in the budget. That has to be seen how and in what form the government is trying to encourage the sector. But my own take is anything which depends on the subsidy is not a wealth creator. It's just a trade for that. Coming to agri producers like the rice companies, so we have this thematic basket, rolled out 3-4 months back on all the 3 rice companies, that is Chamala Setia, KRBL and LT Foods. So the basket is doing very well. Chamala Setia was the only company which was not performing after our recommendation, but today I think with this up move, even that has moved into good gains. Play this basket out. I think wait till Diwali, 3-4 months more into